Hey, y'all. In today's podcast, let's talk about applying Proverbs 31 and 10 to your life and in your business. Let's break down the definition of a virtuous woman and, more importantly, how this can be applied to create an abundant business. All right, let's hop into today's episode. Welcome to Overthinking to Overflow, the podcast where entrepreneurs and big dreamers like yourself stop standing in the way and start stepping into alignment, clarity, and abundance. I'm Dr. TK, clinical psychologist, business mentor, and your guide to shifting from overthinking to unstoppable action. In each episode, we'll explore mindset shifts, self-care, and aligned strategies to help you reclaim your energy, your time, and purpose so that you can pour into your dreams from a cup that is overflowing. So let's break through the limits holding you back and create the life and business you're destined for. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Overthinking to Overflow podcast. This is Dr. TK. So I know that the topic of this episode is very different than pretty much all of my podcasts in terms of talking about, like, I'm not going to say strictly business, but like abundance mindset in business. So I want to give y'all some background in terms of why I am talking about breaking down a specific verse in the book of Proverbs. And let me just give a disclaimer. If you are not a spiritual person or you do not believe in God, this episode is still for you because I'm going to be breaking things down in a very simple way that any woman can take into their business, especially moving into a new year like 2025. So every year I do a vision board. For the last 2 to 3 years, I've done more virtual vision boards. I tend to put one on my cell phone. I put one on my desktop. And then I sometimes also have like a bullet journal that I put inside my agenda. And I find pictures that represent like the things that I want to manifest. So most recently, a few weeks ago in January, I was recording a Declutter My Office with Me. I don't know if it's dropped on YouTube yet, but I did record it almost at the end of January. And during that video, I was cleaning up a section with all of my old journals. And when I opened up these journals, I realized that it is something very different about putting pen to paper versus on your iPad or in your notepad on your phone or typing. And it's also very different when I can fill the pages with the pictures. It's almost like putting a puzzle together. Books that I had put together, some of them I had not finished, what I would consider like photo and memory and manifestation journals. Once I realized that I had manifested a lot of stuff in those books, I had said, you know what? I want to do another one for this upcoming year. So this is actually post Super Bowl. This is Monday, February 10th that I'm recording this episode. And it is in the evening, but I'm going to drop this episode on Tuesday morning. So great morning. But on Super Bowl, I didn't really know how the game was going to go. We're not going to get into that. But I did upload some photos that I wanted to be on my quote unquote board, but in my book. And before the game came on, I pretty much took my stuff with me. I went to my sister-in-law house and I cut up all my pictures and then I placed them in the order that I wanted to, see my manifestations come about. Now, at some point, I am going to share some details of how I put together these books because people tend to have a lot of questions, especially as it relates to success in your business and in your mindset. But there was a particular thing that I wanted to include this year that I had exposed myself to probably in the middle of 2024, which is the Esther effect or Proverbs 31. Now, I really don't know how I came about it. I don't know if I was listening to like a woman mindset podcast, but I'm a very curious person. And when something jumps out of the page to me and it speaks to me, I can't help but to go down a rabbit hole and do some research. It's almost like doing a case study as a therapist. I need to find out all the juicy details. So I did. And it led me into watching a couple of YouTube series that was really good. And don't get me wrong, the YouTube series actually breaks down like the Esther effect, the whole Proverbs 31 book. but I wanted to read it for myself because I wanted to use it like for me. So I started reading the little pink, simple, easy to read from Amazon Esther Effect book. They also have a workbook that goes along with it. And then I took a break, but I was doing some other like mindset stuff. And then for this picture book, per se, my vision board, I wanted to do like a challenge. And I really wanted to slow down reading and actually apply what I'm reading to my life right now. So the season that I'm in my life right now, I am very much enjoying the moment. It doesn't mean that I do not plan for the future, but I know that a big piece of my history is learning how to be spontaneous, personality type A, wanting things to be in a particular order, which is why I'm really good at systems. But at the same time, I have a very high mix of the visionary inside of me, meaning visionary for my family, visionary for my legacy, visionary for my business. And those two roles, like the systems person and the visionary person in my soul, are always fighting, right? So let's go into me sharing with you the things that I took away from the first day of a 31-day challenge that I found on Pinterest. All you have to do is I still use Pinterest, go to Pinterest and look up Proverbs 31 challenge, and you'll just get a lot of them. Choose which one works best for you. I just shrunk down the picture, uploaded it to Canva, printed it out, and I cut it into my book. So the breakdown of Proverbs 31:10. This is from the King James Version. The verse reads, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies." And I knew when I read that verse for the first day of the challenge, which was today, February 10th, I was like, ugh, I have to like go deeper, because based off of what me and my husband were talking about, me and my team were talking about, the things that I am maneuvering through in my personal and my business life right now, literally today, this spoke volumes to the decisions that I am making in terms of pivots with products and offers moving into this year. So I use ChatGPT. Y'all know I'm always bring in something teachable beyond even the biblical scripture, right? And I was like, can you give me a simple explanation? I mean, I understand what the verse says, don't get me wrong, but I want to have a discussion with myself. I want to sit with this. I want to meditate on this. I want to script and journal on this. So now let's actually break down the verse that was on the first day of the challenge. And so it was from Proverbs 31, verse 10. It is the King James Version. And the verse reads, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies." Now, this is a verse that I've heard a lot. When I was younger, of course, it went over my head. As I got older, I matured. And if we're talking about being a business owner, I started stepping into a season of understanding my worth as a woman, understanding my worth as a wife, but also understanding my worth as a CEO. This verse just hits different even this year. It kind of reminds me of when we can read the same book over and over again, but we get a different takeaway every single time. And full disclosure, I've talked about it on some of my past podcast episodes. These last 2 years have definitely been a whirlwind, whether it be in business and or personal. And so because of the conversations that literally I had with my husband this morning and that I had with my team member this morning, when I sat down and read this Bible verse, it was like that moment where you like, oh man, this is right on time, because we are currently still in a season of looking at how we're going to pivot certain products or services. And we've pretty much been in this season for a year and a half. So I chose to take it up a notch because I feel like the Bible verse is cool. It is straight to the point. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. That's, to me, speaking about a lot more than just a few traits of a good woman. So your girl went over to ChatGPT and I was like, yo, I can read this verse. I'm intellectual, but I like to go deep like a case study. And I want things to be written in a simple way so that I can sit with it, let it marinate, meditate on it, and then actually apply it. So this is what ChatGPT gave me: a simple explanation. Who can find a virtuous woman? So they break down each piece. And what I would like you to do is, as I go through the aha moments and the things that I want to share with you from these two lines, I want you to ask yourself, is this the woman that you're on a mission to become this year and or in the future? And also, I am going to talk about how this applies to your business and how you choose to show up. So who can find a virtuous woman? This asks a question per ChatGPT, suggesting that a truly virtuous, in parentheses, strong, noble, and morally excellent woman is rare and valuable. She is not just any woman, she is one of great character and integrity. The reason that one slapped me like a ton of bricks is I had literally told my husband right before I sat down and did my personal development this morning, is I was like, I know that I'm a rare breed in the coaching industry. And what I mean by that is not my title as a psychologist, but more so I am very much fixated on not desiring to carry through with offering products and services if my talents aren't used based on certain levels of access that some of my clients or customers have. And I also, when I put a product out there, I want people to give me feedback in terms of, is it good? Did it not hit the right spot so that I can improve it? Now, of course, that could clearly cause some obstacles in my business, because look at the name of this podcast. Like, the whole thing is like overthinking to overflow. I am an overthinker as well. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with operating in excellence and within integrity. And truth be told, that's why maybe you or our other community members stick around for so long, for years, because no matter what product or service I'm offering, no matter what I'm talking about on YouTube or through social media, people know it's coming from a very genuine and good space. And I am that person who, as I told my team this morning in a voice note, I am that person that will find out some information and say, hey, I'm learning it too. We're at the bottom of the mountain. Do y'all want to come up here with me? And some of my people may say, yo, that looked too big. I'm good. Let me know what's going to happen when you get to the other side of the mountain. There will be some people that ask me how long will it take because they don't want to wait that long. And what tends to happen is I may start walking up the mountain by myself or with a small group of people, but half of those people, if not more, are going to fall off. So I know I'm a rare breed. Now, the simple breakdown of the second part: for her price is far above rubies. So this means that her worth is beyond any material wealth. In biblical times, rubies were extremely valuable. But these verses teaches that a virtuous woman is even more precious. Her character, wisdom, and goodness make her more valuable than any earthly treasure. Now, that also spoke to me because I am in a season where I am more focused on legacy and philanthropy than I am about selling a product or a service. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my business. I love making money, but I love everlasting impact more. So I read those and I'm like, it got to be something deeper. And then I thought to myself, literally in that moment, I wonder what would happen if I share it with my community. This all came up at about 8:00 this morning. And so I went to ChatGPT and I said, okay, based on what you told me, that's cool. That's cool. My prompt was, how can I apply this to my life today? How can I have this show up in my business? So I'm going to speed things up and I'm going to break down what the different areas were. And what I would love for you to do, take notes if you're able to. Hop over to the DM on Instagram and just tell me what was your takeaway. If you are listening to this on YouTube, just go down to the comment box and tell me maybe which one was your best application, or your find Proverbs, specifically 31:10. This ain't even a whole book, into your life and your business. Number one, personal application, becoming a virtuous woman. Cultivate strong character. These are all bullets under number one. Cultivate a strong character. This means you want to strive to be a woman of integrity, wisdom, and kindness in all areas of your life, not just your business, including family, relationships, and your business, not or your business. So I hope that you would want to strive to be great in all of these areas and not feel like you have to choose on which one you got to focus on today. You know what I'm saying? To like better. Okay. The second bullet under personal application is prioritize inner value over external success. So while wealth and achievements are important, for example, your worth comes from your character. How do you show up, whether people are watching or not, and how do you impact others? So as a business owner, even though we'll dig a little deeper there, as a businesswoman and as an actual just outright woman, I hope that your goal is to pay it forward to the next generation, even if you don't have children. The next item under personal application is seeking wisdom and growth. This virtuous woman, continues learning, growing, and allowing God to guide your decisions. What this means to me is that you're not only going to rely on your interpretation of which direction you should go, because odds are your interpretation is going to take you either down a wrong path or a path that's going to take you double to triple the amount of time. Surround yourself with quality people. That brought to mind circles of influence that I talk about all the time. Build relationships with those who uplift you, support you, and align with your values. But also, as a woman and a business owner, when you put yourself in those circles, ask for help. That is a virtuous woman. She's not about to sit here and suffer in silence. The last one under personal application is honor, not use. Honor your unique gifts. So embrace your God-given talents and use them to serve others. Don't let them collect dust. To my people out here, building out a private practice, why are we being stingy with you sharing how you're the expert with what you do? I don't want to make video. Well, practice and make the video. I don't have time. I'm sure you don't have time for a lot of things, but we make time for the things that we want. If you're out here creating digital products, why are you still in the planning phase? It's been 6 months. I'm coming for you today as a virtuous woman. Okay. So let's go into the second category, business application. You want to lead with virtue and impact. So we're going to be combining these traits, but also looking at how a virtuous woman looks at the future, right? So first bullet is operate with integrity, be honest, ethical, and fair in all business dealings, and prioritize people over profit. When I read this, I was like, she is me. Okay. And sometimes I'm not going to lie, this has hurt my business because I'm so focused on serving the person. It reminds me of being a mental health provider and going above and beyond when somebody like you lose their coverage and you ain't got the money, we gonna figure it out. And it's interesting because if you're really passionate about it, even though you may be doing it pro bono or for a super low rate, it don't even feel like you being robbed. Now, does that mean we should be working for free? Absolutely not. We have to have boundaries, and we're gonna get into that in a moment. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a virtuous woman in your business, you also need to make sure that you are financial integral with the decisions that you make of how you invest in yourself, aka pay for your stuff on time. Next one is create value beyond money. Remember I said earlier, legacy. So you want to think about offering services or products that genuinely actually help people, not just you teaching people what you did to make money so that they can pay you so that you can make more money. Like they're not getting no results, right? So you want to make an everlasting impact rather than just making money, because at the end of the day, that might feel good today, but it's not going to feel good when ain't nobody giving you no testimonials, because at some point it's like your testimonials are going to run out and nobody's going to believe you. They want to hear from real people. Okay. Also be a role model for other people. So show your audience, show your clients, your customers, your team members, your virtual assistants, what it means to lead with purpose and excellence. What I do in my business is anytime I'm listening to personal development and I feel like it would benefit our community or it would benefit my team members, I'm sending it. And I'll say, hey, if this is too much for you, cool. But if you want to watch this video or listen to this podcast, I would highly encourage it. And this is what I got out of it. I have a firm belief that everybody has a seat to the table. Just like I say, everybody had a space at the bottom of that mountain to go up with me. But not everybody's going to make that decision. But at least I'm carving out space so that you can come along too. That's impact. Be a role model for others. The next one is practice generosity and service. Give back through mentorship, philanthropy, or creating opportunities for others. So I feel like this is an area that a lot of people want to do and it's on your vision board, but financially you may feel like you can't do it because it's like, well, I need to use these hours to work on my business or work in it. And I get that. But who says it got to be 20 hours? I mean, this ain't no internship. It can be 1 hour a quarter. So one of the things that I did, and I shared this with our community a while ago related to like speaking engagements, is depending on what season I'm in with time and also what I'm doing in my mental health business will determine what type of community I want to show up in to give back. So a while ago, I was like, you know what? I always go back to my high school as a alumni from Compton High. And at one point, before the school had got like tore down or rebuilt or whatever, I had made it a goal that I would take off work and I would go up there in the daytime. We would still go to the game because we got a lot of city pride. So we would go alumni and we would sign up for it to go around to the classrooms to go speak to the kids about what school pride means in our culture of Black and brown people in Compton, right? And the kids loved it because I did it more like storytelling. Okay. So to me, that's a version of mentorship. I mean, homecoming comes around once a year, like it's not that big of a deal. It could even be volunteering in your kids' class, but think outside the box. And what I will add on to that is if you make it your mission to make as much money as you really, really want to, giving your time away for 3 to 5 hours ain't going to be no big deal when you're earning multi 6 figures or 7 figures. That's what we talking to. Okay. The last area under business application is build a legacy, not just a business. So focus on creating something that will positively influence future generations that we've talked about, just as the Proverbs 31 woman left a lasting legacy. Look, we still talking about her. Now, the last category is we just about to break this down into simple language that everybody can understand. We're going to talk about practical ways to show this in your business today, meaning how can you show up as this woman in a practical way? So I got 4 for you. The first one is lead with authenticity. So what this could look like is show up as your full self. Don't put on a performance to give us 25%. Sharing wisdom, sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise, and if you want to share your faith where appropriate, do so. I'm not redoing this podcast to make it a Bible study, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with bringing in faith-based materials because a lot of my clientele are, I use the word spiritual, because everybody has a different denomination and all the things. But at the end of the day, most people that come into our community has some type of higher power. I may say God, some people may say other things or other people, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, are you showing up as your full self, or are you scared that your brand is going to get tarnished, right? Number 2, help other people win. Sometimes you will actually expedite your growth when you help other people win around you. So let me give you an example of what's not helping somebody win. You get a prospective therapy client or coaching client, and they tell you about their life as to why they need services. They never said anything about financial hardship. They're just explaining to you what's happening around them. Life is life. You decide to cut your prices by 25% up to 50% because indirectly you heard that they cannot pay for your services. Now here's the catch-22. You just said you were the expert online. You going around here speaking on stages and all these kinds of things. And I'm telling you this because I've been there multiple times. You're going to meet a client who wants to mess with you, but your price point for the level of services that you're offering does not match the brand that you position online. So because you can't hold down boundaries, but you saying you want to teach them boundaries, whether it be in a business, career, or life, they don't believe you. So some of you are actually losing customers and clients simply because you actually don't charge your real rate. Because people get skeptical when something sounds too good to be true or too cheap. And I know that I have different products at different levels. But one of the things that we tell our group communities is, let's be clear, you can technically pick my brain, but it's not the same as getting maybe a little bit more vulnerable in a one-on-one Zoom call. It's not the same. It's not the same of coming to an intimate mastermind in person. It's not the same. But my goal is to uplift people. So we do offer coaching. We offer digital product downloads. We have offered mentorship through membership programs, but you want to position yourself to uplift others. Number 3 is operate with excellence. So you want to be known, as I just mentioned, for high quality work, strong ethics, and transformational results. Now, the only way you're going to help somebody get transformational results is if you talk to them to find out how your product is working. And the only way you're going to know that the product is working is if they bought it. And the only way they bought it is because you told them about it. Okay, I kind of went backward in a funnel here. But bottom line is, if you often wonder why your people are not operating in excellence, look at yourself in the mirror. I do it all the time. Like, I will go to my team, to my friends, to my coaches, and not that I'm seeking out something that I'm doing wrong, but from time to time, excuse my language, I'll be like, hey, let's shoot the shit. Like, keep it real with me. Based off of how I've been showing up, how I've been moving over here, this is what I've done. Is there anything else that I can't see that you can? And I'm all the way open for feedback. But again, I'm a rare breed because a lot of people say they want the feedback, but they don't want to take it though. They don't want to take it. Like, then you don't want to listen to it. Number 4, keep faith at the center. So pray over your business decisions. Seek God's guidance and trust that He will direct your steps. And I love this quote that ChatGPT gave me at the very end, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. It said, by embodying the Proverbs 31 virtues in your life and your business, you'll not only find success, but also leave a lasting, meaningful impact. Drop the mic. This is lit. I said, I'm about to do this every day for the challenge because I just found even my thought processes had expanded when I read this and sat with it. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this different but in-depth podcast episode. If you are listening on the audio podcast, make sure that you follow. If you are tapping in on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe for more great mindset and focusing on abundance and overflow things, whether it be lifestyle, mindset, and or business. I will talk to y'all in the next episode. Head down to either the description box on YouTube or on Instagram in my DM at Dr. TK Psych and let me know what are your thoughts about this episode today. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into Overthinking to Overflow, where we turn mental blocks into breakthroughs and build a life of alignment and abundance. If you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs this message. Remember, overflow is your birthright. Get out of your own way, take inspired action, and I will see you in the next episode.